what's up folks? This is your boy Zero to Jail back with another vlog, and here with a pretty big important update. If any of you have been following me since the beginning, you know the reason why I kind of started this channel was to kind of create content that looked at both sides of the car world spectrum, meaning one side you got the muscle cars, the other side you got the import side. Well, I already got a 350R, which is for me kind of like the epitome of what American engineering is all about. And on the other side, I was actually looking into getting a Honda Civic Type R. I don't know if you can say it's the epitome of the import side, but it's definitely up there. And my plan originally was to get one last year and to do a whole vlog on kind of doing some comparisons, but really more about just enjoying each car for what it was worth, because they're both different and great in their own ways. So yeah, now that never happened last year because of some personal situation I was going through. If you're at all interested, you can go back into my vlog channel and find a video on that. I think it's called Foregoing the Type R to Buy My Late Brother's Truck, which basically in a nutshell, I used those funds to get my brother's truck, who had just passed away due to cancer. So I'm not going to get into that right now, because you can go back, like I said, and watch that channel, watch that video if you're at all interested. So getting the Type R last year was not a foregone conclusion. It was just something that I was unable to do. And I was kind of bummed out because I had got some signature rims for it, got some other parts that I had ordered, and created kind of like this anticipation and build up, which I know some of you were curious and kind of seeing what I could offer. But that fell through, so I just started creating some random R content, 350 content on my channel, which I think seems like a lot of people appreciate it. But going forward, I just want to address my 350 fans, because I don't know if everyone shares the same appreciation for all different types of cars like that I do, or at least, you know, going to the other side of the import side. But if you're here and you've enjoyed my content so far, I would just say hopefully this material that I'm going to be providing on my Type R is not too adverse to your liking. Hopefully it can open your eyes to seeing things that can be appreciated on both sides. And likewise, for people that are going to be coming to my channel to see the Type R content, maybe there's things you can see that are good or interesting about the muscle car world. So I'm not here to try to unite everybody. I'm just here to kind of do something a little bit different. So, and this is why the whole reason why I started the vlog. So what happened? So last weekend, I had an acquaintance of mine contact me through Instagram on Friday night, and he was somebody that was, he had the Type R. It was sitting in his garage ever since he bought it new from the dealer. Boost Boot Pearl, and low mileage. He had done PPF, ceramic did, and everything. And initially when I talked to him before last weekend, he actually was on the market for a 350. And I didn't know how serious he was, and I didn't really tell him I was interested in buying a Type R. I did tell him that there was a point where I was interested in getting one, but I wasn't like, hey, you know, can I buy yours? So basically what happened, he had contacted me on Friday, sending me a picture of the 350 that he got, and it was sitting on his driveway. It's a nice badass 350, by the way. He's got a 2017 white with blue stripes 350, and he had taken a picture of it, sent it to me to kind of, you know, say, hey, look, what's up, man? I got a 350, let's go cruise. And I saw it and I was like, yeah, I was pretty happy for him. And then I saw the Type R sitting in his garage in that picture. I was like, oh, you were able to keep the Type R too? And he was like, no, I'm actually going to be getting rid of it. In fact, the same day he picked up the 350, he went back to the dealer to try to sell his Type R. But the person who buys the cars or who issues the check was actually gone for the day, because he had went there at nighttime, and so they told him to come back in the morning. But that night he had texted me those pictures, and I was like, oh man, yeah, you still got it, that's nice. And then he was like, no, I'm gonna sell it, I'm gonna go back to the dealer in the morning. And then he just threw it in there casually, like, hey, if you want it, by the way, let me know before 9 a.m. tomorrow. And you know what kind of friction that created, because that night I could not sleep. I was like, man, it's, you know, it's literally new. The market for these cars are up there like everything else, and what he was asking wasn't unreasonable in the least. And so yeah, long story short, he told me to let him know by 9, and I contacted him like at 8:45. Literally, he had told me later that he was out the door, almost out the door to the dealer, and then he wasn't know if I was serious or not. So he's like, you know, I don't want to pass up the offer that I got from the dealer. And the whole reason why he was going to the dealer is because he didn't want to have to deal with private party sale on Craigslist, people haggling him about his price. And you know, I understand, you know, sometimes you never know what you're dealing with, and there's a lot of scammers out there. So he was willing to take that little bit of a cut in price that he would get for his car in order to not deal with the hassle. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, you know, I think I'm gonna, let's do it. I want the car. And yeah, at this point I was like, okay, how am I gonna make this happen? And I happened to just have most of my schedule open that day, and so we met up at my credit union, issued him a check, and basically by like 2 o'clock that day I was driving home with a new Type R. So yeah, so that's what happened, and it kind of was of a blur. Have everything happened so fast. I literally had been made aware of that car the night before, made a decision the next morning, and basically was walking away with the car by the afternoon. And that's kind of a picture of what it's like to live in my life. Things move fast, they happen quickly. You got to keep up or you're gonna get left behind. And I kind of feel sorry for my wife about that. No, I'm just kidding. She was shocked, to say the least, but she's not mad or upset. I think she understands where I'm coming from. But yeah, please pray for her. So yeah, initial impressions. The only word that comes to mind, and just keep in mind that the car is still under 1,000 miles, it's still in the braking period, so I can't really gun it or push it to its limits. But the initial impression is nimble. It's definitely fun to drive. It's light compared to the heaviness that I have with the 350. And overall, I mean, just looking at it, I think the looks of the Type R are just crazy. It's just in your face type of thing when you're driving down the road. And with the Boost Blue Pearl, it just makes it that much more in your face. So if you're not into that kind of attention, this may not be the car for you. But if you don't mind it, I mean, I get a lot more attention, I would say, with the 350. I mean, when I first bought my 350R and I was driving it up from SoCal to the Bay Area, I was getting thumbs up off the highway before I was even pulling up next to somebody. They were like seeing me in their rearview mirror. So I would say overall I get a lot more attention, but I haven't really driven the Type R that much. I've already put on, I would say, 150 miles since I've got the car last weekend. But yeah, the Type R is definitely in your face. It's a lot of fun, and just something about, you know, looking in the rearview mirror and just seeing a big ass spoiler right in your face, you know. and yeah, so it's got a lot of things reminiscent of the 350R. I mean, it's got the Alcantara, the Brembo brakes, just the appeal. I would say the Enamor, if you're looking at it from a perspective of how unique the car is, you don't see that many Type Rs on the road. I mean, I barely see any 350Rs on the road. I probably, since I've owned my car since September of 2020, I've only seen one Type R on the road. But I've seen a lot more Type. Oh man, this R thing is getting me totally tongue-tied. You're gonna have to bear with me. But I've seen a lot more Type Rs on the road than I have 350Rs. Yeah, so initial impressions, nimble, still breaking it in, still a lot of fun. I would say on the con side, the rear view camera thing is, I don't know what Honda did, but when I back it up, when I put the car in reverse, looking in the rear view camera monitor is like looking in a Game Boy screen. If any of you know what a Game Boy is, but the initial Game Boy that came out from Nintendo, it was black and white. Well, looking in the rear view camera of this Type R is like looking in a Game Boy screen, but it's colored. It's just horrendous. I don't know what they did, why they couldn't get a better camera system. Something with at least 12 megapixels would have been nice, but it literally looks like it's like 2 megapixels. It's very bad. But other than that, I love the car. Going forward, I'm going to be doing some mods, nothing too crazy, at least that's not the plan, but I do plan on doing some things like putting on an exhaust, which you got to do. Very carefully on these type of cars, because you don't want them sounding like fart cannons coming down the road. There are ways that I think you can get around making a 4-cylinder car sound good. I do plan on maybe upgrading the spoiler and doing something with the suspension to give it the right ride height. And sitting in my shed, I still got my signature rims, so that's going to be something that's going to be going on there, not in the far future, and be something that's going to be badass. And hopefully I can prove that to you in the way I can get it to look and the videos that I make. Hopefully you'll stick around, come back for the content on that. But yeah, other than that, that's about it. I'm super stoked I got a Type R. I want to say thank you to Jeff for just giving me the hookup. The way everything happened just seemed like everything fell into place perfectly. Really happy for you that you got your 350. We're gonna go do some rides together, so hopefully for you other viewers out there, you'll be able to meet him and see the car that he got. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope to make some more good quality content for you in the near future. Until then, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next one.